What's up, guys? This is episode 2 of the 395 podcast, and today I have my good friend Gary Deel. What's up, Gary?
What's up, buddy? Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Gary has a pretty unique story. When I first met Gary was right before I went off to college, and he came down to work out with us. And what was your starting weight, man?
It's probably around between 340 and 350, so I was a big boy.
350 pounds.
No muscle whatsoever.
Oh, my God. And tell everybody, just so, this is what's going to mind blow you. Tell everybody what you took your first fight at.
170.
170 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's a big cut. And how long did it take you to lose all that weight?
I cut that weight in about 11 months.
That's crazy.
So I made 170 from 350 in about 11 months.
That's crazy. So let's start back, because you have a crazy, like I tell everybody, you have a crazy story. So let's just talk about what even made you come down to the gym. I remember just the first day you came down, and you're this big kid, and I leave for college, come back, and then you've lost all this weight. And I'm like, who is this kid?
Yeah. So it was probably 2012. I went to my first fights, and it was a cool atmosphere. I saw Nick, Adam, you were there, some of the guys. Thought these were some pretty cool people. And I've spent all of elementary, high school, freshman year of college being this huge, obese guy, confidence at an all-time low. I mean, honestly, for me, a good motivator was I wanted to have a girlfriend. I was like 19 years old. I just wanted to actually have a girlfriend. I never had that before.
Had you ever had your first kiss before that?
No,
never.
Never, nothing. I was just, confidence was at super low levels, and I just came down one day, man, and that first practice, J.J. Stewart broke my nose, almost threw me through a window. For whatever reason, I was like, oh man, I got to go back for this. And it just kind of kicked off from there, and I just stuck right with it.
It's like a domino effect. Well, yeah, I remember, man, when you first came down, y'all were running up a hill. Y'all went on a run. And they said that everybody finished. They was like, where's Gary? They went back down. You passed out on the hill or something like that.
I did, man. I wasn't going to quit. I just kept running. Everything went white on me. I knew I was going down, so I just kind of found the ditch and went in it. Picked me up,
That's crazy. And then so of course you lost all this weight. You took a couple fights, and you had some success. I mean, you ended up winning your first amateur belt. I mean, that was a big, and from where you started to that, is that something as a kid you ever thought you'd do, or?
Never, man. When I was a kid, I was completely different. I was just this real quiet, shy kid. Didn't want to fight anybody. They called me Gare Bear. I was like a little teddy bear. Well, not little. I was a huge teddy bear, actually.
Gare Bear.
So I just never saw that. Never thought I'd get any tattoos. Here I am, sleeved out now, taking fights. But it was just, I never thought it was something I would do. I'm glad I did, because martial arts, which you know this, there's so much you can learn from that. The discipline that you get from cutting weight to make fights, from always in the gym and nobody's watching. I know with you, people see all your videos, your fights, you're up doing your thing, but what they don't see is you're in the gym hours and hours. They never see that.
We never see that. I actually just posted on Instagram a video after one of my fights.
I saw that.
And I was over. I cut from 245 to 189.
You looked lean, man.
I was. I didn't go back down.
You looked real
lean. But what's crazy is now, even though I'm short for heavyweight, dude, even though I don't look like I did at 205, it's my confidence is still pretty high, because just the way I'm still pretty athletic for a heavyweight, and I still move well. But it's hard to even explain. It's
you feel better?
I feel now. Right now, I don't, because I had this kid and I gained a bunch of weight and I'm overweight. But I've got back to working out last week. So I plan on cutting all this weight that I've gained. I call it baby weight. All this baby weight. But man, when I'm walking around 260, it's the fact that I'm still running. I can go on a 2-mile run at 260. Most people can't say that, especially people who are 5'10", 260. Most that's
a heavyweight. There's not many people doing that. So you get a cardio advantage there.
Right. I mean, I know a lot of heavyweights, but I don't know a lot of heavyweights that run.
For sure.
But in California, one of my training partners, his name was Jack May. Dude, he was a freak. He was 260.
He heavyweight?
Yeah, he was 6'8", 260. He would run. But he wasn't built. He wasn't fat, man. He was a big guy. But he was super good at training. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
You know, just being around that type of athlete.
For sure.
He fought in the UFC. So.
Yeah, and I remember your fight career. What did it start around 2012? Was that
13?
13?
I took my first fight the summer of 2013.
So you transitioned over from wrestling just straight to MMA.
I tell you, man, honestly, I was just going down to the gym at Team Fast. I was just wrestling. Then all of a sudden, I was like, "Yo, I took a fight out of nowhere." And I told Nick, Jackson, I was like, "Hey, I took a fight," and he's like, "What the?" He's like, "You took a fight?" He's like, "Dude, you've never even been punched in the face." So I was like, "Dude, my brother beat me up my whole life. I'm good." And he's like, "It's not the same."
Right.
Not the same. So yeah, he was pretty upset, but we got me ready. I won, and then I fell in love with it.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Whatever you're gonna do, you got to fall in love with it. With me, when I was cutting that weight, I fell in love with it because my confidence was going up, my weight was going down, and every day I looked forward to getting on that scale and seeing how low I could get it. So that's something important. You got to have that passion and fall in love with it. Now I remember, I don't know if you remember this. We had a conversation. It was like 4 years ago, and you went to Ferrum and you weren't really happy up there doing school. You wanted to be a fighter. You wanted to be a pro fighter. You remember what I told you?
I don't remember what you telling me.
I told you if you want to be a pro fighter, then you got to quit everything else. Don't worry about school.
Don't have a backup plan.
Don't have a backup plan, man. Because when you have a backup plan, you're not 100% in. When you give that backup plan up and a pro fighter is it for you, look at where you're at now.
Right, and I still use that to this day. I tell everybody, I'm like, everybody's like, "Man, you need a plan B, you need a plan B." I'm like, "No, forget a plan B. Make it to where if you don't accomplish plan A, you're in trouble.
You're done.
Make it to where if you don't accomplish plan A, you're in trouble."
And that's something you don't hear a lot, man.
No, because you need that motivation. To know that there's nothing left. Which it's crazy though, because like my goals have changed. I don't tell a lot of people this. I want to be a pro fighter. I want to be a successful pro fighter. But the more I've started coaching, the more I realize I want to help kids more than anything. But I realize being a successful fighter helps me with that.
Yeah.
I want to be one of the best fighters there is. I love fighting. I love the sport. But the more, when I was younger, like when I was 19 and I was an amateur fighter, I got a lot of attention from adults and like people wanted to be around me because at the time I was doing things I shouldn't have, and all these people wanted to come to my house and drink and all that stuff.
Sure.
And then as soon as I straightened up and I started really focusing on like being a role model, it's like you realize that now I got more younger. The youth is what looks up to me. Grown-ups that aren't at my house checking on me or my girlfriend or my daughter. It's like my kids are always like, "Hey man, I see you won your fight. I just want you to know that you're an inspiration." And that really caught my eye. So now it's like each day it's like, what can I do to help the youth? I went and talked to schools and stuff, and it was like that's what I fell in love. I fell in love with the fact that there's a chance I could change the next generation. Maybe a small portion of it, but just a portion of the next generation, dude, is the best one in the world.
Yeah, and all that came, man, from you giving up plan B. There's nothing wrong with your direction changing as long as you stick to your plan.
Oh, yeah.
Life happens, you go that way. Like, me, since you've known me, my goal has always been, I've been into fighting. I do love fighting. I have a nice passion for it. I found success in it, but my whole thing was I wanted to be this lawyer. I wanted to finish school, go to law school, live that city law life. So that's why I didn't take as many fights as you have. But now that's not even my plan anymore. I pursued that.
Crazy.
So kind of what happened with me is I finished up undergrad, did my LSAT, tortured myself doing all that work, did well with it. But there's this dude I graduated high school with him. His name's Brad Mullins, and me and my other buddy Tyler were sitting eating Mexican. You remember Tyler from the
Tyler Childress.
Tyler
Childress. Tyler Childress. Yep. We went to college together.
Sure
did. You know that at family?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Me, him, and Dylan. It was crazy.
Yeah, so we're sitting there eating Mexican, and so he's like, "Dude, Brad Mullins is basically rich now?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "He's trading the stock market." At this point, I had no idea how to trade the stock market. I thought you'd like research a company like Google, Microsoft, whatever, throw some cash that way and look away. But there's this whole thing you can do trading. Like trading and investing are different. When you day trade the stock market, basically what you're doing is you're looking for maybe 15, 20, 30 cent gains and you're cashing out. So a rough example is if you see a stock sitting at $1, you load up 1,000 shares at $1 5 minutes later, it's at $1.10. Sell out everything. You just made $100 in 5 minutes, and that's the difference between trading and investing. So this guy Brad, that's what he's doing all day long. He's made a few $100,000 this past year just doing that. So
few $100,000,
bro,
oh my god!
In one day, he made $29,000. In a matter of not even an hour, he made $29,000.
Oh my god!
So, that piqued my interest. Seeing somebody doing so well in that. So I started trading on my own, trying to learn what I was doing, losing money every day. Then Brad messages me one day. He was like, "Hey, you trading now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you can call it that." I wasn't making anything. So Brad, he's been a real help, man. He showed me what to do. Without him, I'd probably still lose money today. But it's, when you go into practice, like my first practice, I didn't know anything about fighting. So I got out there and got my ass kicked. Same way with you, man. If you just stepped in the cage, never had any wrestling training, never knew anything about it, it'd be a completely different world.
It'd be like a fish with no water, you know what I'm saying?
For real. But, that's been my passion now. So for the last 7 months, I've just been trading the stock market. Law school's not even on my mind at this point. So
now, is that something you may do in the future? Or do you see so much success in this that, that you think this is what you... Because realistically, say, because there's been plenty of people trade stocks and become a millionaire.
For sure.
I ain't heard of a lot of lawyers. I know they make good money, but I'm sure you can make more money within trading stock. Because we're about to sit down and talk. We're about after this. I'm about to find out how you do this. Because I would like to, man. Because one of my things is I always say, now I have a beautiful little girl,
right?
And no matter what, she needs a good life. That's my thing. So fighting's gonna help me do that.
Yeah.
I'm going back to school, but not for the same reasons. I'm going back to school because I do want a degree. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
But I'm going back to school because I want to further my mental state. I want to challenge my mental being. So, my brother is actually a counselor at Mountain Empire Community College, and I'm actually starting to take classes up there during the summer.
That's awesome.
To challenge my mind, help me further my education, stuff like that. I think that's just a self goal. I'm okay, he got this, I'm gonna get it. He graduated, I'm gonna graduate.
And I like that you said that because, dude, I hate this attitude. I got a story I'll tell you in a second, but have you found that you've done really well with your fighting career? You've won titles, you've won so many fights. You went out there for the UFC stuff. You've had a lot of success in this, and do you find that you get a lot of hate from that? People just try to put you down and they want to see you fail?
This is no joke. I feel like if I was losing, I'd have more friends. People a lot of times they say I'm cocky and my confidence and stuff, but I don't even think it's that. I just think that I carry myself different. I carry myself with a type of confidence that most people I think most people hate me because they wish they had my confidence.
I agree with that.
I truly believe that's why. Because, man, even my girlfriend, she hates on me for being so cocky.
I get the same thing.
She's like, why are you so cocky? Why are you so confident? I'm like, I truly believe everything I say. When I tell them I truly think I'm going to be in the UFC, I really think I'm going to be in the UFC. When I tell them that, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I truly believe that because in this area we have this. There's a wall that says that you can only go this far in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so many people learn to jump. Only a few people learn how to jump over that wall and get past it. But you get this big amount of people who are just hitting it constantly. It's I got this far. Okay, I'm going to stay this far. I'll go this far. I'm going to hit this far. I'm going to stay this far. And I don't want to be that. I want to be that person that drills a hole through it and starts giving people a path on how to get past it. So no matter what I have to do, with coaching, my goal is a lot of coaches' goals is to win a state title. That's one of my goals, but my other goal is to send kids to college for wrestling on full rides. I want to teach kids. I want to build kids up. I got a really good youth program right now. I'm trying to do that to send kids from here and be like, don't hit that wall. Go past that. And just with that, if I can get kids that want to learn after high school, want to start fighting, get them past that. If I want kids that, just different things, I want them to realize they don't have to hit that wall and just sit down in front of it and not learn how to get over it.
That's the thing, man. Imagine if everybody that hates on you, I get it, I'm sure you get it. You put yourself out there, people see you doing well, they want to hate on you. Just imagine, though, instead of hating on you, if they wanted to learn something from you, see all the qualities that you have, the things that you're doing, try to do some of those things where they could get. What benefit does it give them to just sit there and hate on you? It's not going to benefit their current status in life whatsoever. It's going to make them more negative because you're going to keep doing the things that you're doing that makes you successful. So you're going to get more successful. They're going to keep hating and stay right where they're at. But imagine if they were so focused on their own lives, finding success, they wouldn't have time to hate on you.
Right. And I constantly, I'll meet people and they'll have and this is a really common. I'll meet people who don't like me and have never met me.
Dude.
That's very common. I meet a lot of people who are just like, I don't like Chandler. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. They meet me.
You.
Good example. He's my good friend now, Josh Short. I fought him.
I remember.
Beforehand, he told me, he said, I did not like you. I thought you was arrogant. I hate you. He said, I really didn't like you at all. I hated you. I thought you was a prick. Well, we started training together, after a fight, because when you fight, so when you earn that mutual respect for him.
Yeah.
So we fought, we got that mutual respect, and we started training together, and we just sat down and we was talking one night, and I was just telling him about life and everything I've been through, my mentality, how I feel when I'm in the gym. Like I just, just different things that I go by in life. He's like, dude, this is no joke. He's like, you're one of the best people I've ever met. And I was like, I appreciate that. And he's like, it's no joke. He's like, the way that you look at things and the way that you go about things, he's like, you would never thought that, reading your Facebook post. And I'm like, people don't know me. They do not know me. They know of me. They see my Facebook stuff. I can even remember Whitney Davis from Clintwood. She told me, she said, I thought you was super cocky because you're the way you post stuff on Instagram.
People hate confidence, man.
Hates it. And I remember we went to college together, and then she told me, she was like, you're actually super nice. You're really. And now, I ain't seen her in a long time, but I hear she's teaching now. She's a wonderful person. So I'm glad that someone, who thought that I was bad sees that I'm a good person. And
sure.
Josh, he thought I was a bad person, and then he got to know me. And that's the process. It's until you get to know me, unless you're one of the people who are in my everyday life, you don't realize my good intentions.
Yes. No, I feel it too, man. Like we talked about, I did lose over 150 pounds in a short time, completely changed my life, and with that, I have confidence now. I don't think that I'm any better than what I was. I just have more confidence now to excel and fulfill who I'm supposed to be. And I did find some success and fights and those things that you're proud of. You want to post about it and talk about it, not to be cocky or anything, but just be proud of yourself.
Let them know.
Let them know. People see this. Automatically, man, they peg you right there. Oh, look at this cocky, arrogant douchebag right here.
I hear it all the time. And my thing is, as long as, and I'm perfectly okay with pissing off 5 adults if I motivate 5 kids.
For sure.
I'm completely okay with that. Because a lot of times people are going to look, I've had people tell me, you ain't fought nobody. You ain't done this. You ain't done that. My amateur career, I finished off fighting Matt Foley, who was one of the top prospects, as an amateur. And I'm pretty sure the score was, 30-24. 3 10-8 rounds. He didn't touch me at all.
Now those people tell you never fought anybody. How many fights have they had?
Right. And that's common, dude. And people are like, you need to work on your stand-up. And the thing is my next fight, I'm going to blow air. I keep Martin Funk, for example. I told him the other day, I said, dude, I've got good. I'm not trying to be cocky. But if you thought I was good before, I've got a lot better. And he's like, don't say that. I feel like you're going to go out there and lose. It's that's not me being cocky. I'm just letting you know, because I trained with somebody that everybody thought was going to kill me. And I did really well against him. And the guy even told me, he's like, you don't need to be here. He's like, you're too good to be here. And it made me feel good. So I was telling him how he told me that. And he was like, God almighty, you're going to be so cocky. It's like, no, it ain't that. I'm trying to tell you, you need to come train with me too, so you understand. I'm trying to let y'all know, everybody keeps dogging me about what I need to work on, and they don't even realize how much I put into it. I put in a lot to be where I'm at right now. And I'm not the best in the world, but the fact that I can look at that and know that is why I'm going to keep growing, and I try to tell people that. So.
And you have a primarily wrestling-based fight style, which you have some of the best takedowns that I've seen. Everybody knows that about you too, but the thing is, they can't stop it.
I love that.
So no matter what you're gonna do, if you get the fight on the feet with the KO, or if you get a TKO with the takedown, it doesn't matter. If they know that you're gonna take them down and you still take them down, that just shows how elevated your game is. If they know what you're gonna do, they have a full training camp to plan for it, and they don't stop it. So why would you change your strategy if you don't have to?
Right, and which, and the higher up I get, I do realize that I'm gonna meet people whose wrestling is as good as
For
mine.
sure.
I've met it already. I've went and trained with people whose wrestling is top notch, and I understand. But I want to train with those people. I want to work with those people. I want to feel that strength, that power, that technique. Because if you're scared to feel that in practice, you're not gonna know how to handle it in a fight.
Not at all.
So you have to feel that that type of pressure, technique, strength, and stuff. You have to feel that in practice. You have to find someone on that level to understand, and that's why I travel a lot. I'm like the Southwest Virginia Goku. It's like I'm not saying like I'm the baddest dude in this area, but I'm saying it's like if I see someone who's good, if I know they're good, I want to train with them. My last camp, our team hasn't been training.
Right.
I drove to Johnson City every day to train with Adam Townsend.
He's good.
He's a freak of nature. He's the best person I've ever trained with. I can say that convincingly. He I think he's had over 20 fights, never been finished. Lost, never been finished.
It's pretty impressive.
It's unreal. I think his record's like 20-5, not 10-5.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And I don't know how he's not in the UFC yet. He's unreal good. And I've trained with some pretty good people. Pound for pound, the strongest, fastest, most athletic person I've ever trained.
What weight's he fighting at?
70. He was at 55.
Wow.
He's at 70. Bro, you'd have to grab a hold of him to understand.
Yeah.
It's freakish. It's freakishly strong. And like his positioning, like he just... But that comes with experience,
It does.
It comes with experience. Me and him sat down and talked, and he didn't start fighting until he was 23.
And you've been fighting since you were 18?
18.
Yeah.
And I'm 24 now. So I look at people like that, and I see how good they are, and I'm like, I understand I can be that good. I just got to keep working. And he's a big motivation, because even though he's not from Southwest Virginia, he's from East Tennessee. We're all from that little area, that little circle, that little pot. And I realized, like, hey, if he can be that good, I can be that good.
For real, man. Like my buddy Brad I was telling you about, we graduated high school together. He's making crazy money, like right now. And, because he's doing that, I'm so happy every time he texts me each day, hey, just made ever how many grand, whatever. Then, dude, I get so hot because he's doing that. I know I'm going to be doing that soon. That's a big inspiration for me. And it just really pisses me off. Like, I'm not going to name any names or not. I went to UVA Wise and got my bachelor's in history. And right now, while I'm still building my trading account, I bartend at night at the pub. So this professor comes in there. He was actually from my department. And most people don't know anything about day trading, man. They think it's all just a gamble and you're wasting your time. They say that because they don't understand it. They don't know how to make money doing it, so they put it down. So he came into the pub and he just looked at me and he was like, hey Gary, how's the day trading going? Just with this condescending smile on his face. He's like, you're still bartending, I see. And I'm just over it at this point, like all the negativity. I'm like, actually it's going pretty well. And he's like, oh really? That's surprising. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking at summer, I'll just be a trader. I'm not going into like what I'm making, this and that, but
it's alright. You're making it alright.
These last 7 months, man, I've learned a lot. I've kick my butt every morning. I bartend until like 12 at night. I drive back to Clintwood. I get up 7 every morning. I watch the market till 4. I go back and bartend. It's every day, man. But
now it's the pub in Wise?
Yeah, the Inn at Wise.
The Inn at Wise. That's a really nice place.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice.
I didn't know you worked there. You work with Mitch McCowan, and
he doesn't work there anymore.
He doesn't work there anymore. Last time I was there, I went there for a wedding, and he was there. But back in November on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, but so you still work up there, dude?
Yeah, I bartend down in the pub.
Okay.
Yeah, your brother was in there the other night.
Let's not mention which one.
Yeah.
But let's see.
But the negativity, man, I'm just over it. Like if everybody would just focus on themselves, what they're doing, and not try to put each other down and want to see you fail. Like, I don't get that. Like, like I keep going back to this. I mean, you face people just wanting to see you lose, wanting to see you fail.
All the time.
But does it make it sweeter when you win?
Man, it's got to the point now, it's crazy. Because, I've had, this is going to blow your mind when I tell you this. I've had 17 fights.
Damn.
I mean, it really, like, when you hear that number, you're like, God, is he really? 5 pro, 12 amateur.
It's a lot of fights.
At some point now, I'm so used to it. I fight for other reasons than to please anyone. I fight.
Well, you should.
Fight mainly, after I lost, that was a big one. And I remember I sat there and I thought, I was like, man, I fight for so many people. But now I'm in such a bad mindset after losing that no one's talking to me. So I went to, I started really like just gathering myself. And I was like, this is for me. So I fought Dustin Dyer, I beat him. And dude, it was like a world of emotions. And I told myself, I was like, from now on, this is about me. This is me and my career. Like, not being mean about my family or anything, but like, it's definitely a me thing. Like, it's my legacy. I have to go do this, and whatever benefits that everyone else gets from me winning is just, I'm okay with, But as far as like fighting goes, I fight for myself.
That's good. I
definitely focus on me getting the job done, because when you start thinking about everybody else, you put too much pressure on yourself.
You do.
When you want to fight for, I'm not going to say I will, and I do fight. How do I put this? I have motivation to fight, like different motivations, but at the end of the day, I fight for myself. Like, of course, my grandmother with cancer, like that's big motivation for me. But I don't fight to how do I put this? I don't fight because of it. I don't fight because she has cancer. Like, that's not why I started fighting. I fight because I love fighting. It's motivation that, she fought through cancer. It's motivation to see someone fight for their life. Like, that's motivational.
Yeah.
It really helps me get through my days and, helps me, work hard. But as far as the actual sport, I don't do that for anything else but myself.
Well, I think if you did it for anybody else but yourself, you wouldn't be successful, because you got to find what you're passionate about. Because that's what's going to keep you in the gym every morning, every night. If you're doing it for somebody else, it's so easy to just quit doing that. But if it's for you, if it's your dying passion, like, who's that interview? When you want to succeed more than you want to breathe, that's when you become successful.
Eric Thomas said that. He said, when you want to succeed more than you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. That's a really good video, too.
Oh, man.
I used to listen to it all the time. There's a lot of... Who's your favorite motivational speaker?
Honestly, probably Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill? Have you ever listened to Eakin Johnson?
I'm not sure if I have or
not.
He
follows me on Twitter, dude. It's pretty cool. He's from Tennessee. He's in the middle of a football game. Grew up real poor. I think down in Georgia, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he came to make a big hit his senior. He could have went to the draft his junior year. Came back as senior to play at Tennessee. Went to make a hit, and he severed the artery in like his chest or neck or something like that. And he can't function the left side of his body, right? So football was over. So he went from almost being a millionaire. He was right there, first round draft pick, to ending his career because of a hit. And the way that he looks at it, the way that he talks and he explains it, it's like, it's hard to feel sorry for yourself. Like you listen to that and you're like, God, why have I ever felt sorry? I get mad at myself, just like, because a lot of times you be training, you're like, God, I know I'm working hard. It just don't make sense. Then you see this guy about to die, and you're like, oh, God, why is my mindset not on that level? Why can't I not be that well thought? He's pretty good. Eric Thomas is pretty good. I'm trying to think of other people. Another one that surprised me, Will Smith. Will Smith's
great.
He's a very intelligent person, too. Very intelligent.
He's one of my favorite actors also, man. Him, Mark Wahlberg, probably at the top.
Mark Wahlberg. I follow him on Instagram. He's pretty funny.
That dude's work ethic is insane.
Dude, you'd be surprised. I think people would be surprised how hard acting is. Dude, you stay... Because you don't work around your schedule. You work around their schedule. So if you have a shot that has to be done at night, you only have so much night time to do stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to work all that in the night. And then say if it rains, you'll wait for the rain to stop. And constantly, I mean, It is a pain. I'd say that's probably that's a hard profession. I know people are like, all you do is act to make money. It's like, yeah, if everybody could do it, everybody would be doing it. You know, they make millions for a reason. Like,
that's the way, man. And like, with what I'm going back to is trading, because that's my true passion right now. Fighting and coaching is yours, trading's mine. I hear it all the time that it's a gamble. Like, oh well, you're just gambling. But actually, in trading, there's a 95% fail rate. 95% of all people that try lose all their money. They don't make a dime from it. So there's only 5% of people winning. If it was truly a gamble, then why isn't it 50-50? Why is it that this 5% have figured something out and they consistently make bank every single day? At that point, it's not a gamble anymore.
Do you believe it's a technique?
Like 100%. There's different strategies that once you put in the time to get it figured out, man, it clicks with you.
Okay. So how many years, you say you love it. How many years do you plan on, like say you make enough money to live off of, you still gonna do it?
Bro, yeah. Like, there's some traders out there.
You can never make enough money.
You can never have enough money. There's some traders out there that are making like 30 grand in like 30 minutes each morning. They can go back to sleep, work 30 minutes, make 30 grand. My goal is probably by some point this summer, just quit my job bartending, only trade, and just travel the world. My first stop will probably be in Ireland. I want to go to Straight Blast Gym, train with Connor and those dudes for a while. Striking's always been my favorite part of MMA. Like, I just love striking. That's what I excelled at most at first, is just punching people and landing shots, man. So I really like Connor's style and what Kavanaugh's doing with those guys out there. So I want to go just train with them.
Did you see he called out Donald Cerrone last night?
That is going to be a good fight.
That's a risky fight.
It is. Now, if Cerrone wins this fight, man, I think he gets a shot at the belt.
He deserves it. He would need it. But I don't see him being Khabib.
No.
Khabib his grappling is on a completely different level.
Do you think Conor put 100% into that last fight with Khabib?
I believe so.
You think so? I can't dispute that.
No matter what, I don't. Now, could it have went differently if he could have kept that range, okay? And he's back and he's landing shots while he's coming in and he's tagging them and stuff. But it's like he was so focused on the takedown defense.
Yeah, he was he wasn't even worried about offense.
And that's what he said. His name Kavanaugh?
Yeah, John Kavanaugh.
John Kavanaugh got on Joe Rogan. He talked about it, and he said, our game plan was that we were probably going to get took down. But while we're on our back, we don't take a lot of punishment, and we get out of the round. And I'm like,
what kind of game plan is that?
What kind of you knew you're telling me that you knew you were gonna get took down, but your job was to hug onto them and not get hit, and not take a lot of punishment. It's not a good game plan.
Like, what if your cornerman, when you went out to a fight, was like, "All right, Chandler, don't worry about landing takedowns, punches, just don't lose." What kind of plan is that?
Connor's whole magic has come off how good, like his finesse on the feet. Like, I don't think he's now. Do I think like when he boxed Floyd Mayweather? I do believe that Floyd Mayweather did, and I think that Floyd Mayweather could have really hurt Conor in the early rounds, dude. You're talking about the best boxer of all time. And he took some shots.
That second round uppercut, man, that was big.
It was big, but did you see I think he realized how big of a sporting event that was, but he also said, "I'm not letting this go to decision."
I could see that, but then, devil's advocate here, when he just went to Japan and fought, what's that dude's name? Tenshin Nasukawa? And murked him in one round. Like, he just came out, guns blazing.
That guy's a world champion kickboxer. Conor McGregor's not a world champion kickboxer.
He's not.
That's like saying who would win in a kickboxing match, Stephen Thompson or Conor McGregor?
Yeah, definitely Wonder Boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're on that level of kickboxing, that's a completely different. Now Conor McGregor's striking is very unique because of his power in the small gloves, and he connects. And
Conor's a big guy too for that cut.
Oh yeah, dude, when he was at 45.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Do you think he could ever make that again?
I don't think so. Well, if the money's right, he would.
Well, because he got big for the what was his first 2 world titles? Where were they at?
He won
promotion.
Cage Warriors.
Cage Warriors, okay.
Yeah.
So he won at 45 and 55. Mm-hmm. Then he came back to the UFC and cut to 45. I wonder if he could go back and cut to 45.
He's getting a little bit older now. I don't know what's left for him at 45.
When was that fight between him and Jose Aldo? 2015?
Yeah, it was 2015. Man,
that was dead. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah. The thing is, man, going back to Floyd when he just came out lights blazing with tension, I think he knew he was the bigger guy there. He probably had more power. But with Conor was the bigger guy. I think Conor has more power than Floyd. Mm-hmm. So I think Floyd wanted to, tire Conor out. Because if there's any Achilles heel, well, other than Conor's ground game, which could be, flawlessly pointed out.
But I think Khabib does it with everybody.
He does.
See what he done to Edson Barboza?
And Edson Barboza is legit.
He is, dude. He's a black belt. I'm pretty sure he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And
he is.
And he put him on his back and made him his punk.
Khabib's next level for sure.
I think, and I don't even think it's his technique that's good. There's something that makes Khabib's grappling hard. I don't think, my friend actually trained with him, Luis Pena, Violent Bob Ross. He trained with him, and he said, have you ever wondered what it feels like to grapple Khabib? It feels like a wet blanket is laying over top of you.
Man.
He can't get up. I was like, dang. So I think he has some ungodly strength. Has to. He's possibly the strongest wrestler pound for pound we've ever seen.
Let's say we see Khabib and GSP go at it. Who wins?
I think Khabib.
I mean, it's fair.
I think because he's not okay. So Khabib cut into 55. He cut from like 76. Mm-hmm. Okay, GSP walks around at the crazy. I was listening to his to an interview of him. He actually walks around at like 89, 88, and he cuts to 70. Well, he cut to 85 for that one time, so he put on a bunch of muscle. He said he was so sick and felt so bad in that fight because he put on so much weight.
It was against Bisping, right?
He hated it. He said he never wants to fight at 85 again.
I'm actually a Bisping fan. I was disappointed in that fight.
So was I, because I'm like the guy that, no one saw Bisping beating Rockhold.
Yeah.
No one's seen him beat Anderson Silva.
No.
No one's seen him beating Dan Henderson.
Dude, I'm so happy for Bisping. I mean, he's been around forever.
He deserved it. And he does run his mouth, but when you're looking at someone who's put the time in, it's Bisping. Michael Bisping, you can say whatever you want about the way he talks, his attitude and stuff. At the end of the day, he's a great example of hard work, staying around, and taking advantage of opportunities. They said when he got the call to fight Rockhold, he was like so big. He had to make that big cut in like 2 weeks, and he said he'd done it, and he beat the crap out of him. So
that's the thing, man. Like, whatever you want to do in life, if it's lose 150 pounds, if it's want to make a lot of money day trading, if it's want to go out and win some MMA fights, you can do it if you stay around.
Just do it.
Put in the time and have hard work, man.
Dana White says it best. He said, you just got to take advantage of opportunities. UFC don't mind giving you opportunities, but if we call you up and you say no, you lost your opportunity. You got to wait around for it.
Yeah.
Prove to us. He said, prove to us that you want that opportunity because you literally just turn it down. That's one thing, dude. If you get a phone call, you don't turn it down. I don't care who you're fighting. Don't turn it down. See, Chael Sonnen said it best. He said, he's like, that's like saying, hey, come to work today, and you saying no. He said, if that's your boss, he tells you fight this guy, that's what you signed up to do. You're fighting him.
Yeah, 100%.
You sign up, you fight them. Everybody's trying to direct their. The worst problem I see is these undercard, the prelim fighters, or like the undercard, and they don't realize that, hey, you're not even on that main card yet. Why are you ducking and dodging fighters? Like if you get
can't be doing that.
That's the way everybody tries to aim. Like these prelim fighters and stuff, they try to aim like they're like, okay, I want to direct my way to the title, and it's like, dude, one step at a time. You're on prelims right now. Get to the next card, and then get to the main card, and then fight for a title. Like you can't just. If you're that level, just fight. Just fight, because you're going to have to fight them all anyways. You want to be the best in the world, you got to catch everybody in the world.
That's the thing, man. Conor McGregor, I think everybody's trying to follow the model that he laid out for people. It worked for Conor McGregor. That does not mean it's going to work for everybody else. But, people say Conor McGregor got a big jump. Look at the people he fought when he first came in there. He fought Poirier. Poirier's in a title contention right now. He fought Max Holloway.
Stud.
Max Holloway is a freaking killer. Who else did he fight? He fought
Silver. Is it
Dennis Seaver.
Dennis Seaver. Yeah, that's his name. Dude, if
Jose Aldo. Chad Mendez.
Right.
Killers.
Dude, he won. He beat those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was willing to fight anybody. When the opponent changed, he did not care. He would fight whoever they give him.
So, all right, we were talking about cutting weight and stuff. So, this question has to be asked.
For sure.
What did you think about TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo?
Man, I was talking about it with some of my friends before the fight happened. I saw pictures of TJ. I didn't think he looked good at all. I thought that was a hard cut for him. He looked sickly and tiny. Cejudo looked like a monster, though. That dude's arms are jacked. He just looks jacked all around. Mm-hmm. He's also an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. That's amazing. He just came out and beat one of the greatest of all time, and Demetrius Johnson went the distance with him. Cejudo is no scrub. The stoppage, people are saying it's early. I agree with it. You could have let it go on 10, 20 more seconds, but more punches would have been rained down.
The way I look at it is I think the ref realized, like, okay, let's see. He gets rocked, okay? Mm-hmm. And he gets rocked, and then he gets pushed down. He got pushed down like a little boy.
He did.
So he gets rocked, he recovers. He survives. He stands up. Then he gets hit with 2-3 clean punches. Then he drops again. And he comes up with the uppercut. Pow, pow, pow.
And he gets a barrage of hits.
And the ref's like, okay, can't. If you go back and watch the video, man, it looks like I've seen worse stoppages.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen worse than last night. But I've also seen people get beat to death. Like the Czech Congo, mm-hmm. when he's getting knocked out and he keeps hitting, he hits his back, he gets back up, he hits his back, gets back up, and then he knocks dude out. You could have probably seen one of those. But at the same time, if we were sitting here today talking about how TJ Dillashaw died in that cage,
we've been hating on the ref.
We'd been hating on the ref. You know what I'm saying? It's his job. If a ref lets someone die in there because he took too much punishment, you're talking about them feeding their family.
Yeah. So
I can't really get mad at. I'm not mad at him at all. I think it was a great stoppage. Me watching, I'm like, he's done. Like
for sure,
he's done. TJ's a little overboard right now. He's like, I got that stove from me. Dude, you should have came out there and you should have came out there and tried to fight. Like, you came out there gun. He reminded me a lot of Chris Cyborg, except he didn't get face planted.
The thing is, man, TJ's saying that he got robbed.
So they said TJ's getting robbed, and
TJ said that he got robbed. He didn't get his chance to win the title. You got put there for a reason. You can't take that away. You were put in that position because of Henry Cejudo. He came out there, stopped TJ Dillashaw from doing TJ Dillashaw, which is coming in, utilizing that reach, popping a couple shots off, lateral movement, slide right back out. Henry Cejudo didn't allow any of that to happen. He stayed on him the entire time. Finished the fight, man.
And I tell you what I don't agree with is TJ says, I want another fight at flyweight. He said, I want another fight at flyweight, and I want that belt. And because he wants to be a triple champion. He wants to be flyweight, bantamweight, and 145 champ. And I think that with that being said, dude, he does not want any part of Max Holloway.
Oh, no, man.
He does not want any part of Max Holloway. Now, I think that's a dangerous fight.
It is.
He's a freak.
After that Max Holloway Brian Ortega fight, I bet on Ortega. I thought he had the skills to win. I thought he was good on the stand-up, which he is. He just knocked out Frankie Edgar. He's a wizard at jiu-jitsu. I was like, okay, Ortega's got size just like Max. This is the guy that has all the tools to beat him. No, Max put on a clinic. He was coaching Brian. I don't know if you saw it in the fight. At one point, he was grabbing his hand, telling him to keep his hand up, and then he just kept hitting him. That's how good Max Holloway is. Max Holloway is so much bigger than TJ. We would see the first murder inside the cage.
I really think we would.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair to Henry. He said he wanted to fight at 35. That's what the original fight was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. When he beat Demetrius Johnson, he said, I want to fight for the 35 belt. I think I deserve a chance. I'm an Olympic champ. I'm the flyweight champ. I want to be bantamweight champ. which is fair.
He deserves it.
He deserves it. Last night he said, I beat you here. I'm going to beat you at 35. I want my bantamweight championship. And TJ was like, come on, meet me at 35. Well, guess what, pal? He definitely deserves it. And you're talking about a flyweight fight. You didn't really get screwed. The ref, I think, stopped the fight on where I don't think you recover from. I don't think Henry stops that pressure.
No,
I don't think you. And if he gets on top of you, you're not getting up.
No, for sure.
So I don't think he got robbed. I think if anything, if you beat him at 35, you get your shot back at 25.
Yeah,
that's what seems realistic. I think that seems like a pretty good fair thing to do. Fight him at 35. If he beats you, he's a double champ. If you beat him, you get your shot to be a double champ again. But you had your chance, and you got rocked.
Or
twice.
give up your belt at 35 and just say, I'm a flyweight now. Fight him again there.
What do you think about them talking about canceling the division? You think that came to a stop last night?
I think so. I think it was in works. If TJ won, then he's just going to relinquish the belt, be the last flyweight champ. They're done with it. You can get Henry to move up to 35 if he wants, but I think DJ, where did he go? One championship?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in the works right there. You're getting DJ out. You're just cutting the division because as great as DJ was, which he was one of the greatest, he was never a big draw. I don't know why. He's phenomenal, but
I just don't think there wasn't a lot of competition at 25.
There's not. You got Dotson, Benavidez, and
he just lost. Dotson
Yeah.
just lost to was it Jimmy Rivera?
I think so. The competition's just not at 25, man.
It's not, and you had Henry, who's there now, but that just goes to show you that there's 25s coming up.
Yeah.
There's 25s coming up. Joseph, he fought last night. B-Word fought my friend Alex Perez. God, he's a veteran though. He's good. He beat Henry, but they say he did get robbed. But he did get robbed. But he beat Henry. I think that's top 25, man. And with I think the thing is they need some newer guys filtering in.
Yeah, for
DJ
sure.
was good, but he just didn't. He wasn't like your John Jones. John Jones took every legend in the sport and beat them to death.
What do you think about John Jones?
What about him?
The controversy, the drug use.
Here's what I'll say. John Jones is such a reckless person. Like when he comes out and says, hey, I took, pills for sex, I believe him. I believe him because that's the type of thing people who are on drugs do. When he says, hey, I've done a lot of things. I think I would admit to doing steroids before I would cocaine or crack. And he has come out publicly and talked about how he hardcore parties. And I think if he was cheating, he'd tell you.
I think he was doing cocaine a week before he beat DC.
Oh, for sure. He told you he was.
Yeah.
He told us that. He told us that. He in one of his things, he says, I beat you after a week of partying hard. Imagine what I'm going to do when I'm healthy. He said that. He knocked him out with a head kick.
And look at how good DC is.
DC's a freak. His only loss is to John Jones, which is not, that's saying a lot because he's beat Alexander Gustafsson. He's beat Anthony Johnson. Stipe. He's beat a lot of good people. John Jones, in my opinion, is the greatest fighter of all time. He hasn't lost. He has one loss, and it's because he got disqualified.
Yeah, I don't think you could have an argument against Jones being the greatest.
Between him or Fedor.
Yeah.
Fedor in his prime. Not Fedor now. Fedor in his prime.
He just fought Chael Sonnen recently, right?
And wrecked him.
Yeah.
Walked right through him, Chael Sonnen said it's the strongest he's ever felt. A person come at him.
Yeah, he's a monster, man.
He's a freak, but he's old. Now, when he went on that 10-year run at heavyweight and was killing everybody, it's pretty freaking good.
Where do you think Anderson Silva stacks up at greatest of all time?
Third. I think he's third. He went on a long... The thing with him, though, that I wouldn't call him the greatest of all time, the number one, is because his dominance. He wasn't real dominant. There was a lot of fights he was losing and then catch people. He's losing to Chael Sonnen.
Oh, and then the last few
Carmen
seconds.
Triangle.
Yeah.
I think Chris Weidman was beating him both fights.
For sure.
Lost to Michael Bisping. I think it was an argument between him and Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
Fights like that make me wonder. John Jones has had one questionable fight. That was to Alexander Gustafsson.
The first one.
And he ended that talk.
Man.
This past fight, he beat him to death.
And that was after a layoff.
Mm-hmm. A layoff. Let's see. Let's talk about...
Something I think we could talk about is, the people listening to this podcast primarily, I think, are probably around this area that surrounding a few states, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, possibly anywhere, honestly.
Yeah, possibly anywhere. But, we're just two dudes right now talking. We're saying, we've done all this stuff. Like, you've had your successful fighting career. You're coaching now. You're finding success in that. I've cut a bunch of weight. I'm having a career in the stock market. What is it that you could tell the people, like, they can just say, oh, whatever, like, those dudes are doing that, whatever, but it's not really applicable to them. They hear us talking about it, but I feel like most people don't actually take what anybody's saying, not just us, like, just take great speakers, for instance. They don't apply that to themselves. They don't really believe it there for them to be able to do.
I think if you have a goal, the one thing that we all have in common is we're all dreamers. Yeah. We all have a dream, and we all want to accomplish it. Whether or not you want to put forth the work to accomplish it is different than actually doing it. If you're listening to this, you may not be a fighter, you may not be a stock market trader, but at the end of the day, you should want something. And if you don't have a dream or a goal, you're lost. And that's the saddest people is people who don't set goals for themselves.
For sure.
And just if you got a dream in general, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or you're not wise enough or anything of that nature. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't, because the area we're from, there's not a lot of success from around here. Like when I say that, there are people who are successful. They're living life great, whatever. But those same people didn't want to be what they're doing now.
They settle.
They settle for less than what they really can, the potential that their body gives them. I know a lot of great athletes around here that could have easily, just a little bit more effort, and could have went on and done big things. But instead, they settled for the bare minimum.
I think the thing that you really need is the discipline. Mm-hmm. Like, you can tell people, like, when you first met me, I was morbidly obese. Like, I would get out of breath, man, walking into the door from my car. I mean, you look at somebody like that, I'm not genetically gifted at all. I'm not gifted at anything. What I am blessed with is discipline. As long as you have discipline, I don't care if you're the fastest person, the strongest person, none of that matters. You can attain all of that. You put in the time. If it's in the gym, whatever you're doing, you put in the time, you'll get there. If it's fitness isn't your thing, whatever your career is, you put in the time, study, look at great people doing it, see what they're doing, apply that, tweak it for yourself. Never try to perfectly imitate someone, because you'll never be the greatest copycat. What's working for me right now, it might not exactly work for you. What's working for Chandler might not exactly work for me. For instance, if I tried to model my fighting career after Chandler's great at takedowns. He can take people down basically from anywhere. Me, I'm this, tall. I kind of got long limbs. You'd see me coming from a mile away. That approach isn't necessarily going to work for me as well as it works for Chandler. He's perfected that craft. I had to find my own way. But whatever it is, you look at the greats doing that, you can do it for yourself in whatever way that might be.
Absolutely. Let's see. Well, man, we've been talking for about 54 minutes. It was great having you.
Hey, I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, definitely. We'll have you back on, man, for sure. All right, guys. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And what's your Instagram, Twitter, and stuff handles?
Gary Deel 185.
Gary Deel 185. You hear it there. If you hear this, you want to follow his journey, go follow him. My username for my Instagram and Twitter is Chandler Cole MMA. Go over there and give us a follow. And thank you for listening. You guys have a good night.